The LeBron James Family Foundation Classic. The tournament is scheduled for July 6th and 7th. Part of the proceeds will go to LeBron's I Promise Academy in Akron. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley.
Culture in my lifetime has been as impactful, if not more impactful, than politics or law or any other pursuit or business. I like to say culture is undefeated.
Culture is undefeated. That's what Council President Marquise Harris Dawson says. And you know what? He's right. Culture is undefeated. But here's the problem. You don't get to celebrate the culture while ignoring the people who created it. And that's where this procrastination Crenshaw conversation gets real. As you know, the community sent a formal letter to Harris Dawson. We're still waiting for an official response from the city. The deadline is Friday, September 4th. But in the interim, Harris Dawson penned an open letter to the community. Okay, that's fine, but responding is not the same as answering. That said, let's not confuse fixing the parking, repairing the street lights, and repaving streets and sidewalks with finishing Destination Crenshaw. The community was promised a transformational project. So, where is it? When is this thing going to be finished? The council president says the project is being delivered on a timeline. What timeline? That's not an unreasonable question. And that's not an attack. It's not division. That is accountability. And then there's the business interruption money. So in his letter, Harris Dawson says that more than $1 million went to Doolin's on Crenshaw and additional assistance went to a few other individuals. Oh, really? Who received the money? How much money? And who didn't? I can assure you a whole lot of folk didn't get that money. How do I know? I'm getting the phone calls. You see, transparency should not scare anybody. That's how accountability works. And that's why in our letter, we ask for an audit. But instead, what do we get? A discussion about Tavis Smiley, the pastor, the parishioners, the business owners, the people asking the questions, their motives, their ambitions, their character. Well, let me tell you something. When you can't answer the questions, attacking, insulting, and gaslighting the persons asking the questions doesn't make the questions disappear. It just makes people ask why you won't answer it. Let me be clear. We don't want to fight with the council president. We want the project finished. because the people of Crenshaw are not on the sidelines, Mr. President. They are Crenshaw. And if culture really is undefeated, then respect the culture, respect the people, respect the businesses, and most importantly, respect the questions. Now, answer them. The Crenshaw Corridor community is still waiting, and September 4th is fast approaching. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
Just talking louder and say nothing and say nothing.
Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, oh, come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It's Wealthy Wednesday, and that means we're worldwide with Dr. Wilmer Leon. Dr. Leon is the host and producer of the nationally broadcast radio show Inside the Issues with Wilmer Leon, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, Channel 126. He's the author of Politics, Another Perspective, and that's what we get from him every Wealthy Wednesday. Commentary and analysis on race, war ethics, and the American political landscape in the age of Obama. And I hope people fully appreciate that the age of Obama isn't just the period within which he served as president of the United States. It is the dividing line between what we understood politics could do and what politics are doing. And so the age continues. Wilmer Leon is a PhD, a political scientist whose primary areas of expertise are Black politics, public policy, and American government. For 11 years, he was a lecturer in the political science of Department of Howard University in Washington, D.C. Dr. Leon, if I had your hand, I might scratch my head with it.
Man, if I had your hand, I'd throw in my feet. How you doing?
If you throw in your feet, I might throw in some hog balls. Dr. Leon, welcome forward to the show. You doing all right?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. And, thank you for making the point about the age of Obama, because as I've said on this show before, Newton's third law of motion is that to every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And the election of Donald Trump is the reaction to the Obama administration. And a lot of things that Donald Trump did, is doing, and continues to try to do are direct repudiations or retractions of what Barack Obama was able to accomplish, a la the JCPOA, and why we're now fighting, why the United States decided without real reason to attack Iran.
I want to make it clear also that I think Barack Obama got a third term. The third term was Joe Biden. That was his vice president for two terms. And the momentum created by Barack Obama led to Joe Biden, who might not have been able to be president on his own, because I think it was 1988, might have been 84, that Joe Biden was actually in the contest versus my father, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. So nothing changed in Biden's politics except the momentum created, the voter registration created, the enthusiasm created by Barack Obama. So it is a clear line that Donald Trump is a reaction to Obama Biden. No doubt about that. No doubt about it. Let me begin our conversation, if you don't mind, with churches, libraries, and breweries inside DHS's surveillance programs during the immigration raids. Dr. Leon, what do you make of that, this intrusive government in the space of a church?
Well, this really is demonstration of the heightened surveillance state that the United States has become. And what this story is referencing is that according to government documents, DHS agents attended meetings of ICE protesters at the Prince of Peace Lutheran Church in Minnesota. And these undercover DHS agents took down license plate numbers of people that were there. Then they compiled dossiers of these people, including their names, their addresses, information about their families and their jobs. They secretly recorded the meetings held at churches. They've recorded meetings at libraries and restaurants, in schools around Minnesota. They've infiltrated private group chats. And so what you see now, I believe, is the heightening of the surveillance state in the United States, which when we can start with the First Amendment, and there are a few other amendments that we can speak to, but also the very premise of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, which were written in resistance to the established order.
And some of our listeners want to know why their pastor isn't engaged in social justice, or why their pastors aren't registering voters, or why their pastors aren't speaking out on local issues, or why their pastors are not joining the movement Destination Crenshaw. It's because some of them are simply afraid. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It's Wealthy Wednesday, worldwide, with Dr. Wilmer Leon on the 405, the 101, the 5, the 10, the 118, and the 110. More when we come forward right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
My name is Bronwyn, and I've been in this neighborhood for 65 years.
All righty.
I was raised here, right on Crenshaw Boulevard. Ancestry, legacy, everything. No parking. In regards to our elderly, in regards to trying to get from one end to the other, 48th and 50th Street is a dead zone. You got to get off the bus and you got to make your way down in the middle of the block. I'm right across the street. I understand one of the things. I am happy to see you guys. I've been in too many meetings where you weren't there. I understand those who own the buildings and your properties. I understand those who rent from you. Here it is. Why can't we invest in each other?
Making sure they follow through. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The KBLA 1580 app puts the realest conversations right in your pocket. Stream live wherever you are in the world. No static. No searching the dial. A crystal clear connection 24/7, exactly when you want it. We recommend that you keep automatic updates enabled. Set it and forget it. So the app stays up to date with store requirements, bug fixes, and new features as we roll them out. Download the KBLA 1580 app today and stay plugged into the conversation everyone's having.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Charmin Ultra Strong. You can use less, better than the rest. Charmin Ultra Strong. Your booty past the clean test. Salmon weave texture, it's the best. Study up, teach your lesson all fresh. Your booty past the clean test. Yes, sir. Charmin Ultra Strong.
Charmin Ultra Strong with diamond weave texture cleans better than the leading one-ply brand, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like public works supervisor.
Hey, this waterman is under a ton of pressure. Did you ever fix it?
Yeah, 3 layers of duct tape. Wait, should I have added a 4th layer?
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
There is no denying that we've always been the conscience of this country. KBLA Talk 1580 is progressive talk radio built for our community, by our community, and with hosts who look like you, live near you, and care about what you care about. 50,000 watts of truth right here in Southern California. KBLA Talk 1580. Listen live on your AM radio dial at 1580 or stream us live on our KBLA1580.com website or on our free KBLA 1580 app.
Unapologetically progressive. Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Folly, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. We are worldwide with Dr. Wilmer Leon on Wealthy Wednesday. Dr. Leon is a political scientist whose primary expertise includes Black politics, Black policy, and American government. Welcome forward to the show, Dr. Leon.
Hey, man, thank you very much. And the point about the last segment and the surveillance state, as African Americans, when we always have to view this through the prism of the counterintelligence program.
Mm-hmm.
When the FBI attacked the Black community by attacking SNCC, by attacking Dr. King and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, your father, by attacking the Black Panther Party for self-defense. This is another example of the government directly attacking the citizens. And I thought when we read "We the People," that we the people were, in fact, the government.
Dr. Leon, I did want to add that you're right. The history of the counterintelligence program and what it did to African-American organizations, the blemish that it put on Black leadership, where it did not just surveil them, open up FBI files and turn neighbors against neighbors and put spies in various programs. Those that it didn't surveil, it simply locked them up.
Mm-hmm.
It just took their names from them. They pay their debt to society in full. And no matter how much they pay their debt over and over and over again, they are never viewed in the eyes of the law the same again.
And murdered Fred Hampton.
That's right. And I think that the character assassination program that comes with it is as bad as the surveillance and the physical murder. You can be alive in the United States and be dead. Dead, erased, non-existent. America's good for that. Dr. Leon?
Oh, you're absolutely right. And you know, this is, I guess the analogy you could use is boiling the frog. You know, when you put the frog in cool water on the stove, the frog is happy. You turn the heat up slowly, and the frog never realizes it's getting boiled.
Had a really interesting program yesterday, and I editorialized on the Supreme Court's decision, which Ketanji Brown Jackson referred to as chaotic, that it's inconsistent, that when a case can be brought is unclear. And therefore, when you look at the earlier ruling from the case in June, which seems to suggest that mail-in voting was just fine, we got something quite different yesterday from the Supreme Court. According to the New York Times, the administration asked the court to clear the way for President Trump's order that creates state citizenship lists and directs the Postal Service to decide who gets a mail-in ballot. Dr. Leon, that is unprecedented that the federal government has stepped into state voting processes to determine what the 14th Amendment already determines, state citizenship.
The executive order directs Homeland Security to transmit a list of citizens eligible to vote in each state. Well, if you have government agents investigating people at churches and libraries and other venues around the country, if the government, in investigating those people, just unilaterally decides that those people are threats, I would think that those people then could be taken off the voting list. So I'm bringing that up to make the point that the first story that we started talking about and this story are interrelated. They are not standalone issues. And the Constitution is very clear. States run elections. The federal government. So that I don't understand this Supreme Court decision. Obviously, 3 of the 6 justices just have not read the Constitution, as you had to do when you went to law school, as I had to do when I went to law school. I took constitutional law. Obviously, Clarence Thomas was asleep during con law when he was in law school, because the president does not control elections. The states do. That's not a mystery. That's not the court should not even have heard the case. They should have said no. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me quote that brilliant black philosopher Whitney Houston. Oh, hell to the no, Bobby. Hell to the no. That's what they should have said.
Let me ask you this question, Doc. It seems to me that the government is looking for a problem with a remedy for a problem that doesn't exist.
That's
the states administer elections, but now the federal government is going to hand a state some kind of eligible citizenship list when people at the local level actually had to register either with their driver's licenses or go to the county board of elections or go to the city clerk's office to register to vote. In other words, government in this case was actually close to the people. It's far closer to the people than a list created by the Department of Justice or the Secretary of State's office or any branch of the federal government, because the federal government just isn't in the election business.
I said this today in my constitutional law class at Morgan State University. First of all, the federal government doesn't control elections, states do. The second point on this is we should not allow ourselves to get distracted into believing that this is about elections, because it is not. This is about power, pure and simple. And the election is the mechanism through which Donald Trump and his minions are trying their best to expand power. Steve Bannon told us, I think it was 2016 during that interview with Frontline, the primary objective of a Trump administration would be the deconstruction of the administrative state. Steve, you folks, go to Frontline, look it up yourself, watch the interview. That he explained very clearly what the mission of a Trump administration would be: the deconstruction of the administrative state. And that's exactly what this is an attempt to do. Don't get hooked on elections, because if you focus on this as a matter of elections, you will miss the bigger picture. This is about power, a flat out power grab.
And I concur with Ketanji Brown Jackson when she refers to the decision as chaotic. She asks, when can a lawsuit be brought? In the past, in the future, now? At what point in time can the government intervene in a state's election processes? And the court offered absolutely no answers, meaning the government could theoretically, under the president's executive order, intervene in a state's process the day before the election or the day of the election.
As I understand this, and you're an attorney and I've never been, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Well, I'm not an attorney. I am a law school graduate, so let me state that for the record as well.
Okay. Well, I went and didn't finish. So I'm deferring to your brilliance, no matter how you want to quantify it. The president issued an executive order directing Homeland Security and the Postal Service to take action. States sued based upon that executive order. The court came back and said, you sued too early because the executive order has not been acted upon. You have suffered no damage. Come back when you're hurt. Come back once this has been put into place, and then you can tell us what your damages are. That's how I understand what the court has done here, which is flat out wrong because the executive order has been issued. So they can make a determination about simply, does the president have the authority to do this? And the answer is no, unless you understand this is nothing but a power grab. Am I right?
I think that's right. I think that's right. I mean, the president has, first of all, he's term limited. And so what is his interest in state elections and in this cycle other than the midterms? Because the Congress of the United States for the next 2 years of his administration would be holding the administration accountable under the leadership of Democrats, theoretically. So why the present tension? Why the need at this moment to engage the processes through an executive order or through any other means to disrupt local elections, other than the fact that there is an election that's coming where the president of the United States, his name and his vice president's name are not on the ballot. So what's the president's interest in local elections? Well, it's control of the Congress of the United States is what his interest is. He doesn't want to be impeached. He doesn't want accountability. He doesn't want secretaries of this and secretaries of that and the Kushners and the family members being hauled into the Congress of the United States to change the news cycle about what's really going on. Dr. Lee?
And two other points on that. One is the basis of his claim is vote fraud, that the elections are invalid and insecure. There is absolutely no data to support that argument. In fact, all of the studies, all of the reputable studies indicate that that's just flat out wrong. It's a lie. The elections are secure. So the basis of his argument is flawed. And to your other point, why would he do this? You're right. He is term limited unless he changes his mind and unless he gets a Congress in place that would allow the passage of a revision to the Constitution that would allow him to serve another term.
That's not happening. He's not going to have 2/3 of the Congress, 3/4 of the state to make that happen. But I hear you. Dr. Leon, let me ask you this question, though, because I think it does matter. We have about a minute and a half for this response. The president is turning his attention, of course, to the DSA. Some very popular candidates are now continuing to win, including Sister Nixon, I think, down in Florida.
Yes.
Has garnered a lot of news this week. Your thoughts on, again, we've covered it in the past, but certainly the president's now using the Red Scare that somehow the communists are coming to get us. That's a nice way of saying, here come the Negroes. Go ahead, Doc.
Well, not only are the conservatives using it, some of the Democrats are using it as well. Folks, don't fall for the okey doke. Don't bite on the hook. Subscribing to some of the elements or ideologies within the platform of the Democratic Socialists of America does not make you a Democratic Socialist. It makes you someone that's concerned about education, concerned about unions, concerned about healthcare, concerned about housing, and other elements that are vital to the existence of our community.
You can't say that enough. Just because you want everyone to have equal high quality healthcare, or to walk into a classroom with a teacher who has a master's degree at whatever level and a smaller class size so they're not babysitting a classroom of 30 students with one teacher so that your child can learn. It has the same facilities as other schools. A clean, safe, and sustainable environment. Just because you believe in these principles does not make you a socialist. It might make you just a good old American. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to Dr. Wilmer Leon. It's Wealthy Wednesday on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. More on KBLA Talk 1580 when we come forward.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. Facebook's Meta will pay almost $17 billion as part of its settlement of a social media addiction lawsuit brought by a number of states. North Carolina Attorney General Jeff Jackson says it's the most accountability that social media has ever faced.
There is no question that this settlement does not solve the entire issue with respect to social media. It does not include YouTube. It does not include Snap. It does not include TikTok.
Former presidents are honoring the life and legacy of country music icon Dolly Parton, who died Tuesday after a battle with cancer. Former presidents Obama, Bush, and Clinton, along with President Trump, all issued statements praising the impact the singer had on society, culture, and the nation. And two top conferences in college football are uniting to stop NFL players who want to return to school and play football. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers' 6-game winning streak was snapped Tuesday night in Atlanta. They lost to the Braves 4-3. The Dodgers had 10 hits but left 11 runners on base. The Dodgers and Braves meet up again tonight. The Southeastern Conference is joining the Big Ten in not allowing athletes who signed pro contracts to return to school for a fifth year of eligibility. The ACC and Big 12 are meeting this week to consider doing the same thing as the SEC and Big 10. A federal court ruling has given pro athletes, those drafted or signed as free agents, the right to return to college if they get cut by their pro teams. LeBron has teamed up with the PGA Tour to do a tournament in 2027 in his hometown of Akron, Ohio. The LeBron James Family Foundation Classic. The tournament is scheduled for July 6th and 7th. Part of the proceeds will go to LeBron's I Promise Academy in Akron. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
You can't fix what you won't face. And we face it every day. This is KBLA Talk 1580. In a world full of noise, one station keeps it real. KBLA Talk 1580, where the conversation goes deeper, the voices sound like yours, and the issues that matter most to our community take center stage. Progressive, powerful, unapologetically us. Whether you're driving through the city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580. Your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
What's good, KBLA delegation? I am Miles Lowe, and I'm excited to be joining the weekend lineup right here on KBLA Talk 1580. Join me every Saturday at 12 noon for the Do Better Show, where we get into the world of tech, AI, the creator economy, navigating your mental health through it all, and have conversations with founders to find out how real people are making real money right now. It's not a course, not a subscription. Class is in session every weekend, live on the air. So if you knew better, you do better, right? So let's make a better you. The Do Better Show, every Saturday, 12 noon, and replaying again at 7 p.m. right here on Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. These are hard times for housing in America. Too many in our community face barriers to safe housing, behavioral health care, and affirming spaces for healing, particularly those impacted by poverty and stigma or incarceration. Rooted in South LA, Ahmad supports impacted communities through housing, wellness, and leadership development. Ahmad provides culturally responsive, peer-led support from transitional housing and mental health services to leadership development and youth empowerment. They offer safe, affirming houses for youth, transgender women, and formerly incarcerated individuals. Therapy and peer support with a focus on healing trauma in Black communities. HIV prevention and care, free testing, education, and wraparound services for whole person wellness. Standing in the gap with health, housing, and hope. Reach out to Ahmad Institute at 323-569-1610. That's 323-569-1610. Or visit amaad.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. 10 Toes In serves as a mentorship and domestic violence prevention program. They support, educate, and empower couples during and after incarceration. They assist male returning citizens to re-enter society successfully and to help them maintain a healthy relationship with their romantic partner. They offer a mentorship support group for formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In teaches its Intimate Relationships 101 curriculum at male prisons throughout the state of California. They host sister support group meetings for women who are intimately involved with incarcerated and formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. To access their services or make a donation, please visit them online at 10toesin.org or find them on Facebook or Instagram. They are healing lives through relationships. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Dr. Wilmer J. Leon III, PhD, political scientist, Black politics, public policy, American government, lecturer, host, producer of nationally broadcast radio show Inside the Issues with Wilmer Leon on Sirius XM Satellite Radio 126. That's channel 126. Dr. Leon, how can our listeners join and follow your programming?
Saturdays live, Sirius XM channel 126 Urban View from 11 to 2 p.m. Eastern, and just go to wilmerleon.com and all the information you need there you'll find at wilmerleon.com.
Dr. Leon, let me pivot for a moment to the State Department and their revocation of tourist and business visas for those who have claimed asylum. And that, by the way, is largely people of color, people who look just like us. Now, that's a nice, wonderful term, tourist business visas for those who claimed asylum. But in some of these countries, when you think about Haiti, when you think about some countries in South America and other countries around the world, African and brown people are actually confronting very, very serious domestic challenges in terms of their freedom, their independence, and even their religious beliefs. So what do we owe the administration's present disposition of deporting and ending the visa program for Black folk?
Let's see. How about I give you 3 words? Racism, white supremacy. I could have just said white supremacy, but let's go back to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and racism, white supremacy. Donald Trump was very clear when he told us he wants white people from South Africa. He wants Afrikaners to come to the United States. And he lied when the basis for that statement was what? That they're being discriminated against, and that I think he used the word genocide against Afrikaners. Really? Where's the evidence of that? I haven't seen any, and neither have they. So this is very simply racism, white supremacy. And it's I think it's very important for people to understand that under federal law, foreign nationals can seek asylum once they're in the United States, regardless of their immigration status, as long as they apply within 1 year of their arrival. So if you come here on a B1 visa as a tourist, if you come here on a B2 visa as on business travel, and you decide you want to seek asylum, you're not breaking the law in making that decision and then reapplying for asylum under a different term or context. You are not you did not lie to the immigration officer when you initially said, I want to come here for business purposes. And then you get here and you say, you know what? I want to apply for asylum. You're not, the law allows you to do that. That's not that hard to figure. Read the damn law. It's very clear.
Doc, the squeeze is on. I mean, this is the way we feel, and certainly the way people of color feel. It's certainly with blacks who are here within the United States taking advantage of the H-1B program, etc. But also on the international front, white farmers are also under pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are also feeling the squeeze of Donald Trump's administration. It's the tariffs, it's the Iran war, and even farmers in our own country, many of whom voted for Donald Trump. I saw a really interesting Facebook post the other day of a Hispanic woman who said that Donald Trump was as close to God as any person she's ever seen or met in this country. And last month, she got deported. She got deported.
The devil will do that, won't he?
So I'm thinking in this election cycle that farmers too are feeling the squeeze, and they may show up on the other side of the political ledger in this election as well. Dr. Leon?
Well, let me give folks, if I could take a minute here, and you talked about the farmers. One of the things that Donald Trump said he was going to do was import beef from other countries, not telling us where, right? He wants to lower the cost of beef in the United States. And first of all, folks understand something. An idea is not a plan. There's a difference between an idea and a plan. I can say, I want to drive to the moon. That's an idea. Okay, Wilmer, how you going to get there? Well, now you need a plan. So he says he wants to lower the price of beef by importing foreign beef. 80% of beef consumed in the United States is domestically produced. He's talking about importing 3,000 metric tons, which is about 11.8. I mean, he's talking about importing 3,000 metric tons, which actually comes to 0.03% of beef consumed in the United States. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. It's only going to make farmers more angry, cost them more money, and drive more of them into bankruptcy. It's a fool's errand.
And we haven't forgotten or let off the hook yet that the president's policies have driven up prices on fertilizer, fuel, and machinery, all of it tied to the politics of what's taking place in the Strait of Hormuz.
Absolutely right. And you import foreign beef, but you've already decimated through DOGE the employees at the USDA, specifically the USDA Food Safety and Inspection Service. So who's going to inspect the beef that you're importing? How do we know that the horses that they're rounding up and killing don't get ground up and sold to us as beef? How do we know this? If you fired the USDA,
no, wait a minute. No, you didn't say that the horses could be ground up and being sold to us as beef.
What I'm saying is, because there's a whole nother plan. They're rounding up wild horses in this country. And they're killing these wild horses. My point is, since you have
no inspectors,
the USDA people, how do you know that the horses that they've killed won't get ground? I'm not saying that they are. But saying
it's possible. I mean,
how do you know if you fired the people at the Food Safety and Inspection Service?
There's a lot of beef fried rice that I love to eat, and sometimes the beef just doesn't taste or look like anything I've ever.
Okay, Wilbur.
That's hard, Dr. Leon. Wait a minute. It's been decades since I've heard the talking horse now.
Mr. Ed is alive and well. That's another story. Mr. Ed is alive and well.
Hey, Doc, let me ask you.
Yes.
I can't separate, and I know we have about a minute before we come forward, any of these issues from the election. There have been presidents of the United States who started wars to impact the local election. There have been other presidents of the United States who turned on the economic engine towards war to strengthen the American economy at the time of their election. And so every one of these issues that Dr. Leon is talking about isn't just about affecting ballot boxes. It's also affecting the issues that people vote on in the election. It's all electioneering. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. More with Dr. Wilmer Leon worldwide when we come forward.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
Seriously speaking, every Saturday when I hear the program about Altadena and how it may not come back, that's happening to us. This is the largest land grab since the gold rush in California. We have an EDD property, 59,000 square feet. Our elected representative determined that she should write a bill that would declare it to be surplus. So now guess what we're getting? Affordable housing. So I hope that we can start listening to one another, because there is a domino effect. If you don't care about us, guess what? We won't be here and then you won't be here.
Not letting them get away with anything. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you're finally off the clock after a long day, dishes put away, kids asleep, feet kicked up, heartburn. Don't let heartburn take over your hard-earned moment. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Alka-Seltzer effervescent tablets begin neutralizing stomach acid in seconds, so you can get back to your one more episode marathon. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Use as directed.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project.
Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
The way I do laundry hasn't really changed until now. Have you seen the new Tide Evo? It may look different, but now I get it. It's a super concentrated laundry detergent towel from Tide, packed with 6 layers of cleaning power. You just toss it in the washer and it dissolves instantly in water. It's built differently to fight tough stains. I love it because Tide Evo comes in a lightweight cardboard box. There's no bulky plastic bottle taking up space. It's perfect for me because I have no space for anything, especially with having twins. It's double the mess and double the load every time. And the biggest perk, it makes getting a Tide clean feel so easy. Try the new Tide Evo super concentrated laundry detergent today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Created with a share of the 1984 Olympic Games surplus, LA 84 began operations in 1985 as a grant-making and educational foundation. Today, the LA 84 Foundation supports hundreds of nonprofit youth sports organizations throughout Southern California annually, trains coaches, commissions research, convenes conferences, and maintains the world's premier Olympic and sports library collection. They are transforming lives and communities through the power of youth sports. To find out about youth sports programs for yourself or your child, and to get information about the grants and support they offer to schools and nonprofits, or if you want to make a donation, please visit la84.org. That's la84.org. Or you can call them at 323-730-4600. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Ready for a weekend reset? Walk it out with me, Gina A. Towns, the artist formerly known as Gina Darby, on Reflectivity Beyond Black and White, as we seek peace, understanding, and healing beyond surface level perspectives, where reflectivity becomes our inner power and resilience to transform our lives and our communities no matter what. Meet me and my crazy cool guests. Join the Reflectivity family movement as we make sense of it all. Every bit, every morsel. We're going to nourish the mind, body, and soul unapologetically right here on KBLA Talk 1580. Every Saturday, 2 and 8 p.m. on the West Coast, 4 and 10 in the Midwest, and 5 and 11 on the East Coast. It's time for Reflectivity Beyond Black and White. It's not only hot, it's sizzling, and we're cooking.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Wally drops the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the need. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the need. KBLA.
It's Wealthy Wednesday on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, and we're worldwide with Dr. Wilmer Leon, well sought after consultant and thinker during these critical times. I'm honored that he gives us time every week right here on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Dr. Leon, welcome forward to the show.
Thank you, man. As always, I'm humbled when you invite me in, and thank you so much for doing so.
Hey, Dr. Leon, let me ask you a question. You've got to see some movement other than Donald Trump's lack of popularity right now of his base away from him in the current election cycle. Is there any way, I don't want to put you on the spot, is there any way to quantify it? We know what's taking place in the Democratic primaries, but we also see moderates like Massey and others who opposed Donald Trump on the floor of the Congress and in the institution itself. They're not faring well. They're not faring well in their primaries. What does that say to you about the general mood of the country?
Well, first of all, it says to me that we always have to remember that there's a difference between the primary season and the general election. Because when you look at the president's polling numbers, he's lost tremendous ground. People have finally come to understand this grifter for what he is. But within his party, he still holds tremendous sway. So, but the other side of this is when you look at the Democrats' numbers, you would think for a guy that's doing as bad as he is, and I'll just use simple math. I know he hasn't hit 30% yet. He's probably around 32%, but just for simple math, you would say, okay, he's got 30% negative. Most folks would expect, well, then that means that the Democrats must have 70% positive, but they don't. Last time I checked, they're not faring much better than he is. So on the one, so there are a lot we could attack that math or what that math indicates. We could attack that a lot of ways, but they're not doing nearly as well as you would expect them to be doing with a president that is doing as poorly as Donald Trump is.
Before we get to your word of hope, I had to save the zinger for you because I know you're well prepared for it. What did you make of Hakeem Jeffries meeting with Jared Kushner?
A secret meeting with Jared Kushner, one has to ask why. Why? And he went on to say that he's willing to meet with people on the other side of the aisle. Last I checked, Jared Kushner ain't on the other side of the aisle because he hasn't been elected to anything. So the other question is, even to me, even bigger than why did you meet with Jared Kushner? Why aren't you meeting with Dr. Abdul El Sayed? Why aren't you meeting with Angie Nixon? Why aren't you galvanizing your own constituency instead of reaching out to people like Jared Kushner? To me, that's really the question. Meet with Jared Kushner if you want to, even though I have no idea why you would. I have no idea what Jared Kushner can tell you. I have no idea what Jared Kushner can do for you. But why aren't you galvanizing the disparate elements within your own party?
That's the point right there, because when I saw it and I saw his response, I think he was wearing a green.
He looked crazy.
A green hat as the Democratic leader and a green shirt. It's not quite St. Patrick's Day, but he was way over there. And I'm saying to myself, based on his report, he met with Jared Kushner to tell him that he's going to hold them accountable. Everyone's going to be held accountable. That's not the reason for private. You can say that with a press conference. You can say that with a press release. You can say that from the floor of the Congress. You can say it if and when you're sworn in as Speaker of the House. But your private meeting is not equaling what the language is that you're using publicly to describe why the meeting had to be so clandestine.
And I ask, why even say that at all? Why do you feel compelled to say that now? When people want to hear about housing costs, people want to hear about food prices, people want to hear about genocide in Gaza, people want to understand why there's a senseless war in Iran. People want to understand, why did you kidnap Nicolas Maduro? People want to know, why did you send these Haitians back to Haiti, and why are you trying to starve people in Cuba? That's what people really want to know. Why did you feel so compelled to threaten the president with that? That's idiocy.
Doesn't make much sense at all. Dr. Leon, we have about 2 minutes before we come forward. I hope you'll use them all. Dr. Leon, your word of hope.
My word of hope is, folks, in spite of all that we've just spent almost the last hour discussing, nothing is lost. What we have to do first is read, then we need to read some more, and then we need to read after that. We need to educate ourselves so that we truly understand the breadth and the dynamics of what is at stake, so that we then can know very simply what we need to do to solve these problems. In spite of all of the negative and foolishness that's going on right now, I am an eternal optimist. We have the mechanisms and we have the history. We've done this before. We can do it again, but it's up to us to do it. No one is coming to save us. We must save ourselves, and only an enlightened electorate will be able to do so.
Brothers and sisters, I hope you've heard Dr. Leon today, and I hope those of you who are going to vote early, that you do vote early. If you're going to vote by mail, make sure you vote early by mail. But in this election, given the nature of what we are confronting as a democracy, given the collusion between the court and some of these wayward decisions that don't make any sense whatsoever, we need to schedule the date of the election on our calendars. That's our vacation day. I don't care how long the lines are. I don't care how difficult the journey is, or even how far the polling place is from where you will be voting on election day. You must schedule it. You must expect to be voting. You need to share that with your family members. You need to share it with your community. We need to take voting very seriously, and we need to overwhelm the system. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. More on KBLA Talk 1580. Thank you, Dr. Leon, when we come forward.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. Facebook's Meta will pay almost $17 billion as part of its settlement of a social media addiction lawsuit brought by a number of states. North Carolina Attorney General Jeff Jackson says it's the most accountability that social media has ever faced.
There is no question that this settlement does not solve the entire issue with respect to social media. It does not include YouTube. It does not include Snap. It does not include TikTok.
Former presidents are honoring the life and legacy of country music icon Dolly Parton, who died Tuesday after a battle with cancer. Former presidents Obama, Bush, and Clinton, along with President Trump, all issued statements praising the impact the singer had on society, culture, and the nation. And two top conferences in college football are uniting to stop NFL players who want to return to school and play football. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A spokesperson for Dodgers owner Mark Walter confirmed that Walter is not selling the Dodgers. Walter is facing a federal investigation for possible tax fraud. After owning the Lakers for just 1 year, Walter sold the franchise 3 weeks ago for $12.1 billion. Financial experts believe Walter sold the Lakers to help reduce his assets during the investigation. Walter bought the Dodgers in 2012 for $2.15 billion. San Diego Padres minor league coach Oswaldo Perella was released on bond Tuesday morning by ICE after he was detained for 10 days. Perella was taken into custody on August 10th at the El Paso International Airport in Texas. ICE officials claimed Perella's work visa had expired. Perella, who coaches catchers in the Padres minor league system, is back home with his family in Phoenix. Perella's family showed reporters in Phoenix that his visa had been renewed and was good through 2029. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley.
Culture in my lifetime has been as impactful, if not more impactful, than politics or law or any other pursuit or business. I like to say culture is undefeated.
Culture is undefeated. That's what Council President Marquise Harris Dawson says. And you know what? He's right. Culture is undefeated. But here's the problem. You don't get to celebrate the culture while ignoring the people who created it. And that's where this procrastination Crenshaw conversation gets real. As you know, the community sent a formal letter to Harris Dawson. We're still waiting for an official response from the city. The deadline is Friday, September 4th. But in the interim, Harris Dawson penned an open letter to the community. Okay, that's fine, but responding is not the same as answering. That said, let's not confuse fixing the parking, repairing the street lights, and repaving streets and sidewalks with finishing Destination Crenshaw. The community was promised a transformational project. So, where is it? When is this thing going to be finished? The council president says the project is being delivered on a timeline. What timeline? That's not an unreasonable question. And that's not an attack. It's not division. That is accountability. And then there's the business interruption money. So in his letter, Harris Dawson says that more than $1 million went to Doolin's on Crenshaw, and additional assistance went to a few other individuals. Oh, really? Who received the money? How much money? And who didn't? I can assure you a whole lot of folk didn't get that money. How do I know? I'm getting the phone calls. You see, transparency should not scare anybody. That's how accountability works. And that's why in our letter, we ask for an audit. But instead, what do we get? A discussion about Tavis Smiley, the pastor, the parishioners, the business owners, the people asking the questions, their motives, their ambitions, their character. Well, let me tell you something. When you can't answer the questions, attacking, insulting, and gaslighting the persons asking the questions doesn't make the questions disappear. It just makes people ask why you won't answer it. Let me be clear. We don't want to fight with the council president. We want the project finished because the people of Crenshaw are not on the sidelines, Mr. President. They are Crenshaw. And if culture really is undefeated, then respect the culture, respect the people, respect the businesses, and most importantly, respect the questions. Now, answer them. The Crenshaw Corridor community is still waiting, and September 4th is fast approaching. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
Just talking louder and say nothing and say nothing.
Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on Wealthy Wednesday, and we are in the politics of our faith with Reverend Dr. S. Todd Yeary. Dr. Yeary will be joining us in just a moment. And I was sitting here saying to myself, why did Nina Simone sing that song, Mississippi, goddammit? Google it. I'm not saying anything that's not on social media or an album that did not sell thousands of copies, or the reality that Black people know about Mississippi. Brothers, sisters, do not die in Mississippi. We don't know when, those of us who might be alive, if you die in Mississippi, when we're going to get justice, or when we're going to determine, or how we're going to be able to determine whether or not the case and the circumstances upon which you die are even debated, discussed, or brought to the attention of the public. We just don't know. So brothers and sisters, don't plan on it. Let me make it easy for you. We're still waiting for Mississippi. 53 days. That is how long it's been since Nolan Wells walked onto Horn Island on July 4th and never walked off. 53 days. Since an 18-year-old from Ocean Springs became a question mark. 1 week ago today would have been his 19th birthday. His mother spent it at a vigil instead of a party. And Mississippi is still not ready to talk. 53 days. Understand what we know. The state medical examiner finished the autopsy nearly a month ago. The toxicology report is finished. Both reports have been sitting in the office of the Jackson County District Attorney since the end of July. The family has not seen them. The public has not seen them. The independent pathologist the family hired, Dr. Roger Mitchell, one of the most respected forensic pathologists in the country, was handed a body with part of the throat missing, retained by the state, and no toxicology to read. He could write only 4 words: undetermined, pending investigation. Pending. That is what the word Mississippi has been using for 71 years. Now, let me be fair to the district attorney. Angel Myers McIlrath says the rules of professional conduct restrict what a prosecutor may say while a grand jury is pending. She's right about that. Grand jury secrecy is the real law. It's not a dodge. I served in Congress. I know the difference between a rule and an excuse. But here's what the law does not require. The law does not require that a mother be kept from her own son's autopsy report. 53 days. The mother's still waiting for absolution. The law does not require that Nolan's cell phone sit unexamined 7 weeks after his death while the family's lawyers stand ready to appear on 12 hours notice. The law does not require that tissue taken from that boy's throat stay in a state laboratory instead of going to the pathologist who needs it. And the law does not require silence about when the grand jury will convene. A date certain is not a secret. A date certain is a courtesy. A date certain is a date. Secrecy is required. Delay is chosen. I'm going to say that again. Secrecy is required by law, but delay is chosen by the rest of us. And Mississippi should understand why we do not extend the benefit of the doubt on the question of time. The day after tomorrow is the 28th of August. 71 years ago on that date, Emmett Till was taken out of a house in Money, Mississippi. It took a jury 67 minutes to acquit the men who did it, and one of them said afterward, they stretched it out with a soda break. It took 31 years to convict a man who murdered Medgar Evers. 32 years for Vernon Dahmer. 41 years for 3 men buried in the eastern dam of Neshoba County. Mississippi did not ratify the 13th Amendment to the Constitution until 1995, and it did not file the paperwork until 2013. I'm not telling you a crime was committed on Horn Island. I don't know. None of us do. Neither do you. Neither apparently does Mississippi. What I'm telling you is that in a state with this record, the clock is not neutral. Every day that passes without a report, without a phone, without a date is a day Mississippi is spending someone else's credibility. So release the autopsy to the family, schedule the phone, return the tissue, name the day. Christine and Elmore Wansley have waited 53 days for 4 words better than undetermined. Mississippi, the country is watching the clock. God damn it. I'm Jesse Jackson. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
My name is Asata Umoja. I'm with the Hyde Park Organizational Partnership for Empowerment, which is at the southern end of Crenshaw. And this community has been greatly impacted. As a matter of fact, one of the things that we're most concerned about is just being totally neglected. And what I mean is being excluded from the process. When this project first started, they should have made sure that our organization, since we were most impacted, was in there. So we've been excluded, and we've seen commercial properties be taken for art projects. And we're very concerned about these are spaces that could help build economic growth and development in the community. And what this community needs more of is economic development, not art. I mean, I like art. It's a good thing. But they're putting the cart before the horse, because without a solid economic foundation, what they are calling cultural tourism absolutely has no significance and no meaning. And this community is going under if we don't stop and do something to help build that economic foundation and support the businesses that are the tax base for this community to build the kind of services that we need. And the response from our leadership is totally inadequate.
Holding them accountable. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Self-destruction. Yeah, it was self-destruction. Self-destruction. Yeah, it was self-destruction.
The KBLA 1580 app puts the realest conversations right in your pocket. Stream live wherever you are in the world. No static. No searching the dial. A crystal clear connection 24/7, exactly when you want it. We recommend that you keep automatic updates enabled. Set it and forget it. So the app stays up to date with store requirements, bug fixes, and new features as we roll them out. Download the KBLA 1580 app today and stay plugged into the conversation everyone's having.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Charmin Ultra Strong. You can use less, better than the rest. Charmin Ultra Strong. Your booty past the clean test. Salmon weave texture, it's the best. Study up, teach your lesson on fresh. Your booty past the clean test. Yes, sir. Charmin Ultra Strong.
Charmin Ultra Strong with diamond weave texture cleans better than the leading one-ply brand, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like public works supervisor.
Hey, this waterman is under a ton of pressure. Did you ever fix it?
Yeah, 3 layers of duct tape. Wait, should I have added a 4th layer?
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
In a world full of noise, one station keeps it real. KBLA Talk 1580, where the conversation goes deeper, the voices sound like yours, and the issues that matter most to our community take center stage. Progressive, powerful, unapologetically us. Whether you're driving through the city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580, your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
Unapologetically progressive. Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Quality, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
Jackson Jr., welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. 3 boys, 3 states, 1 question. 2 of them died on July 4th. At about 2:30 in the morning on Independence Day in the 3800 block of Bluebonnet Drive in Lexington, Kentucky, a gunshot was heard at a house party. When officers arrived, they found an 18-year-old with a wound to the head. He was pronounced dead that morning at the University of Kentucky Hospital. His name was Tyler J. Smith. He had graduated from Lafayette High School. He had signed up the day before to study robotics at Bluegrass Community and Technical College. That same afternoon, 600 miles south, an 18-year-old named Nolan Xavier Wells was last seen on Horn Island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast around 3 o'clock. He had come out by boat with some friends. He did not come back with them. His body was recovered from the water 2 days later. And 11 weeks before either of them, on the 13th of April, an 18-year-old named Daniel Irving went to Lake Ray Hubbard outside Dallas with 2 friends. He did not come home. His mother reported him missing at midnight. His body was recovered 4 days later. 3 18-year-old black young men, 3 states, 3 months, 3 families who have been told what happened. They've simply not been told. And 3 families who still don't believe it. Daniel Irving was an honor student, roll student. He was a member of high school swim team, a swimmer, and the Dallas County Medical Examiner ruled that he drowned. Nolan Wells was a wide receiver, headed to play ball at Southwest Mississippi Community College. His family says he could swim. And the working theory in Mississippi has been an accidental drowning. Tyler Smith was a young man his mother describes as always finding the upside, who had just registered for college. And the Lexington Police Department concluded within hours that he shot himself by accident in the face. A swimmer drowned. A ball player who could swim drowned. A boy enrolling in robotics school accidentally shot himself at 2:30 in the morning. Maybe all 3 of those things are possible. I'm not standing here or sitting here telling you a crime was committed in any of these cases. I don't know. But I want to walk you through one thing these 3 cases actually have in common. because it's not speculation, it's on the docket. In Texas, on the 26th of July, a Dallas County grand jury indicted 19-year-old named Lucas Roper for tampering with physical evidence. According to the arrest affidavit and to police, he admitted that after Daniel Irving went under, he and 16-year-old threw Daniel's clothes and shoes into the brush. He deleted the call logs and the text messages off of Daniel's phone. He had Juvenile thrown that phone out of the window of a moving car. Then they left. They did not call 911. They did not call Daniel's mother. Daniel Irving lay at the bottom of that lake for 4 days. In Kentucky, on the 10th of July, Lexington police charged a 20-year-old named Bryce Chestnut with tampering with physical evidence in the connection of Tyler Smith's death. Tyler's family says no gunshot residue tests were ever performed. Their attorneys say the firearm recovered at the house does not match the shell casings found at the scene. In Mississippi, no one has been charged with tampering. Let me be clear and fair about that. Nothing has been established. But Nolan Wells's phone and his keys came back to the mainland on the boat without Nolan. His mother says messages were missing when it was returned to her. And 53 days after the boy died, that phone still has not been forensically examined by anybody. So here is what I want you to hold in your two hands at the same time. In two of these three cases, a prosecutor's office has already said in charging documents in an indictment returned by a grand jury that somebody interfered with the evidence. And in all three cases, the official finding is accident. Those two sentences don't like each other. They should not be allowed to sit comfortably in the same file. The official finding is accident. But in at least two of the cases, evidence was tampered with. How could that be an accident? Tamika Irving asks the only question that matters, and she asks it better than anyone can. A reasonable person, she said, who has not done anything wrong, why would he throw away the boy's clothes? Why delete the messages? Why not call his mother? That's not a rhetorical flourish. That's an evidentiary problem because a tampering charge is the state's own sworn admission that the record is incomplete. And then the state turns around and rules out foul play using the very file it just conceded was emptied out. You cannot clear a case with a folder you've already testified somebody went through. Niecy Anderson, Tyler's grandmother, said something in Nashville last month that I have not been able to put down. She said she never asked anybody to go above and beyond. She said, when you come into Black and brown neighborhoods, you should investigate, you should interrogate, and you should charge. All we're asking is that you bring the same energy when the Black child is the one that's lying dead. That's not a request for special treatment. That is a request for ordinary treatment. And if you want to test whether the gap is real, run the counterfactual, reverse it. 3 white 18-year-olds, 3 states, 3 months, each one of the white boys in a group of Black friends, each one found dead on a lake, one off an island, one on a living room floor, each death ruled by accident, 2 of them within hours, and 2 of their Black companions indicted for throwing dead boy's phone out of a moving car. Ask yourself honestly whether the word accident survives the first news cycle. Ask yourself whether those families need a national civil rights attorney and a platform at the Urban League convention just to get somebody to open a file. You know the answer. I know the answer. That distance between what would have happened and what did happen is the whole subject of this editorial. So we're not asking for verdicts. We're not asking for 4 things. Test what can be tested: the residue, the casings, the phones, while the data is still recoverable. Take all 3 to the grand jury, and where a tampering indictment already exists, ask the harder question that tampering implies. Give these 3 mothers their sons' complete autopsy reports. And the Justice Department should grant the federal review the Congressional Black Caucus has requested. Federal eyes are not an accusation, they are a receipt. 2 of these boys died on the 4th of July. On the day this republic celebrates and documents that it says that all men are created equal. It does not say all deaths are investigated equally. It never had to say that. It was supposed to be understood. A swimmer, a wide receiver, a boy who wanted to build robots, 3 mothers asking the smallest questions a mother can ask. Not who killed my son, just what happened to my son. 3 times this year, America has not answered. Very special guest in this hour. Will Brother Diallo Brooks is joining me. Hey, Diallo, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Okay, Diallo is not here yet. That's just great. So, that's the lay of the land. That's what we're looking at. It may not show up in any polling, but that's the anxiety that Black families, Black fathers, Black mothers are feeling at this hour. If a case comes their way, God forbid, that their children, all of whom were born after Brown versus the Board of Education, all of whom were born after Obama and Biden changed the paradigm of multicultural living in the United States, and we felt good about each other, why can we not get justice in America? Some of us only celebrated the 250th anniversary of the United States on July 4th. But here's the fact of the matter. The celebration is a year-long celebration, and I raised this question months ago. Are we celebrating America on July 4th or for this year? Or are we commemorating America this year? The America that once had potential to be, not the America that, even as I editorialize in this half an hour, is still determining whether or not it's going to count our votes in less than 90 days. Why are we still talking about this? Why can't we just vote? Every citizen's vote count, and we be treated equally. Why can't we get equal justice even after the 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States? Why are we constantly deliberating and fighting for our fair share? I'm not even talking about the nation's economic resources, although we could have a conversation about that. I'm talking about equal justice. I'm talking about fairness for mothers who are at home in anguish as a result of the loss of their children. And I know for some of you, you might sit back and say, Jesse, just let it go. But you're up next. My mother's up next. Some neighbor of yours is up next. Every one of us who dropped a child off just last week at a historically Black college and university are potentially up next, because most of these schools, while African American and historically Black colleges and universities, there's still some local police department that may not share the values of the HBCU itself. Not far from every historically Black college and university is some white college with younger whites in the same municipality. We were told that we could build a beloved community if, in fact, we lived together, worked together, and began to appreciate each other, and even potentially, at the spiritual level, which we've never been able to accomplish, worship together. But Dr. King says on the question of spirituality that the 11 o'clock on Sunday morning is still the most segregated hour in America. And that says a lot more about the churches and the preachers, because what Dr. King's saying is if at the level of our spirits we are segregated, then we already know that at the level of our politics we are segregated. If spiritually as a nation we are segregated, then we already know that at the level of healthcare for all we are segregated. Somebody's getting healthcare and somebody's not. Somebody's getting flood prevention programs and resources to restore their homes, and some communities are not. If we can't accomplish spiritual integration, then there is simply no integration at any other level of this society that fundamentally matters. Because if we can't be brothers and sisters in church, if we can't be brothers and sisters in Christ, then how do we expect to be brothers and sisters at the level of spirit? And why is spirit so important? Because there is no way on the question of spirit that if my son goes out with his white friends or my son's white friends go out with my son and his buddies, there is no way that their mother, that my mother, or that your mother should be anguishing over basic answers to the questions, what happened to my son? I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Our very special guest in the next segment of the program will be none other than Diallo Brooks. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. More on KBLA Talk 1580 when we come forward.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. Black Democratic U.S. Representative Benny Thompson and Senate candidate Scott Colomb are urging Black Mississippi voters to turn out in November, warning about threats to voting rights and potential redistricting by Republican state leaders. The two spoke Tuesday at an NAACP luncheon in Jackson, where they also criticized President Trump and Republican Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith. Republicans have pushed back on those accusations, calling them false. President Trump says prices are going down as his administration continues to tackle affordability. Speaking on the Glenn Beck program, Trump was asked about costs about everyday Americans. But Black Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries disputes those claims, saying Americans continue to pay high prices at the grocery store, gas pump, and healthcare under his administration. And the top two conferences in college football are uniting to stop NFL players who want to return to school and play football. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A spokesperson for Dodgers owner Mark Walter confirmed that Walter is not selling the Dodgers. Walter is facing a federal investigation for possible tax fraud. After owning the Lakers for just 1 year, Walter sold the franchise 3 weeks ago for $12.1 billion. Financial experts believe Walter sold the Lakers to help reduce his assets during the investigation. Walter bought the Dodgers in 2012 for $2.15 billion. San Diego Padres minor league coach Oswaldo Perella was released on bond Tuesday morning by ICE after he was detained for 10 days. Perella was taken into custody on August 10th at the El Paso International Airport in Texas. ICE officials claimed Perella's work visa had expired. Perella, who coaches catchers in the Padres minor league system, is back home with his family in Phoenix. Perella's family showed reporters in Phoenix that his visa had been renewed and was good through 2029. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We don't do ordinary. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
My name is Khalifa Bey. I am the founder of the South LA Bureau of Tourism and Trade. And how this is impacting me is that I can't promote it. I won't promote it. I hear a lot of talk about everybody. Accountability is responsibility. Change your vote. Change the vote. I know there's a lot of Democrats in this room, and I get all that. But if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result, it ain't gonna happen. And it's not about Democrat, Republican. It's about getting what we need to get done. That's what it is for me. Because this is deliberate. This of our communities. You look at Chicago. You look at all the black communities were built by us. We're in the same condition. So to me, it's by design. And if we don't do something to change the vote to get to what we need, stop having these meetings.
Making sure they stick to the truth. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Noise in here this evening. And close the door because we're going to party in here all night tonight.
The choice is yours. They're all coming to one stage, one day, one event.
Are you ready?
It's the California Voices Town Hall and Ballot Forum, Saturday, October 3rd. Look who's talking. Javier Becerra and Steve Hilton, Karen Bass and Nithya Raman, Robert Luna and Alex Villanueva, City Attorney candidates John McKinney and Marissa Roy, plus Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kolinakis, Attorney General Rob Bonta, Secretary of State Dr. Shirley Weber, State Controller Malia Cohen, and other candidates running for statewide office, all discussing the issues that matter most to you.
The choice is yours. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that.
Plus a full breakdown of all the ballot propositions. This is the event where California decides. One day, all the voices. Our stage turns every 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And you can't beat that with a bat.
It's the California Voices Town Hall and Ballot Forum, Saturday, October 3rd, brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Community Voter Education Project. Mark your calendar now. Make plans to join us live and stay tuned for more details. All the other stations are covering the election. We're putting you in the room. We're KBLA Talk 1580, where the candidates come to you.
You can get with this or you can get with that. I think you can get with this. This is where it's at, where it's at, where it's at, where it's at.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Quality.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It's Wealthy Wednesday on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. And we're going to light it up with Brother Diallo Brooks. Over 25 years of experience in social justice and civil rights, Diallo has been a pivotal figure in promoting policies that foster safe, healthy, and thriving communities. He currently serves as the founder and CEO of Civic Vision Strategies, a strategic consulting firm empowering organizations through transformative leadership development and community engagement strategies. The former senior equity fellow at the Schott Foundation for Public Education, Diallo bridged the gap between national policymakers and grassroots education justice organizations to advance progressive racial justice policies. Diallo, welcome forward to the show.
Thank you, Jesse. It's great to be here.
Brother, it's always a pleasure. Hey, listen, first of all, thanks for being on the show. I'm very grateful that you're here and that you could make it. We just have two segments, so I kind of want to dive right in without getting overtly technical. The state of Black men and justice in the United States. You spent considerable amount of time in the education space. You know about the disparities, you know about the inequities, but on the social side of it, the tide seems to be turning to an anti-Black male narrative. And our young men at age 18, right in the primes of their lives, are meeting some fates that can't be explained. All we're asking is that they be given justice. Certainly their parents and their survivors. Diallo, the state of Black men.
Well, we're in a tipping point moment in our history. And I think history has a way of repeating itself, but in its modern times. And we see it kind of reverting back to the attack on the Black male from a social perspective, from a political perspective, and from a public policy perspective. And when we start to devolve as a nation into a place or going back to a place where We undermine the growth, development, the supports for Black men. It's a troubling time for our community. In order for the Black community and the nation to be truly healthy, Black men need to be safe and healthy themselves, need the supports to be successful, need to really dig down deep around the things that are undermining the success of Black men, but also from a social perspective, the narratives, the stories we tell about Black men have a negative effect on who we are and our safety as Black men in this country. And so there's a real need to reverse the tide in how we talk about Black men, how we talk about the disparities that exist, but also elevate and lift up the positive nature of Black men and the contributions of Black men, both in our community, but also in the nation and in the world. But Black men deserve justice. We can't be put in situations when we feel like we need to or are going to socialize outside of our own culture, outside of our own Blackness, in ways that our lives are in danger. I think that's anti all of the work that our forefathers and foremothers have fought for, and we can't let ourselves go back in that direction.
I have a great friend. His name was, and I think you know Charles Farrell, who ran at the Rainbow Push Coalition, the Sports Project, and Reverend Jackson, while he was living, argued for more diversity in sport. But I remember having conversations with my dad also about the role that sport played in society. Listen carefully, listeners. The role that sport plays in society. Los Angeles comes together, by and large, around the Lakers. The city of Chicago comes together, by and large, around the Bulls and the Bears. We see blacks and whites playing together. We celebrate the diversity of a winning team, all wearing the same uniform. But Chicago is still one of the most segregated cities in America. When you look at Chicago's mayoral politics, for example, even right now, that vote is probably going to be largely upon racial, social, and caste lines. But don't get me wrong now, when it comes to the Bulls, the White Sox, the Cubs, and the Bears, we come together. So sport plays a role in society. It kind of lulls us away seasonally from an undercurrent that exists in society socially. And we can only imagine the world we would be living in without sport, because the differences, the challenges, the threats, and all of the assumptions of the society itself would suddenly change, but for we do come together periodically in our system, but it is usually around big sport and big events. Dr. Brooks.
So yes, it is a place where we come together. We see it both on the fan side, but also on the team side, how folks work together. I've been on sports teams where it was multiracial sports teams, and when we competed and worked out and pushed, we were all pulling in the same direction. I think there's a philosophy around that that hasn't permeated outside of the sports environment. I think there's lessons to be learned, but also we have to also understand that sports is about making money. Sports wasn't always the integrated space. Integration happened because folks economically understood that they were better off, like the teams were better off when they had black athletes participating, not just white athletes. And so integration occurred. And then there's a natural competition that happens in those spaces. And even as fans, it is incumbent upon the economics of the sport environment to have as many and as diverse fan base as possible, right? Because you want to pull in those resources from all of those different environments. That is an ecosystem that can be replicated, but there has to be intentionality around it. Because integration for me is not just about us being in the same places and same spaces at the same time. Even in the worship spaces, as I heard you speaking about before, but it's around the true ability for us to navigate and be in those spaces, to be ourselves in those spaces and not have to give up ourselves. And we're talking about us as Black folks being integrated into larger white spaces. We have to have safety in those spaces. We have to have leadership capacity in those spaces. So what are the things that undermine that in our society? Those are the things that we have to really deal with, because it's not just about putting us in the room. It's about us having equal footing in that room, having equity in that room, having ownership in certain circumstances of those rooms. And so even in sports, there's still a ways to go, because there is a glass ceiling that exists even in sports. We've finally overcome the quarterback in football, where your father's generation had a ceiling, right? They weren't allowed and looked at. And I know your father was a quarterback when he played football, if I remember correctly.
Absolutely. In fact, they said a Black man was incapable of making the calculations and the decisions to be a quarterback, to call a play in football. Today, that's water under the bridge.
Right. But I say that all to say that until we start breaking those glass ceilings where there is equity in the process, we'll still have the same situations. And I think we are all better off. Our sports teams are better off. The Baltimore Ravens are better off having Lamar Jackson as their quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. Having allowed that space to happen. We are better off as a society to open the doors to everybody, and also fully support everybody in that integration and growth.
It's interesting that where it is happening in sport, it doesn't happen in boardrooms. It doesn't happen in the coaching department. It doesn't happen in politics. It's not happening in church. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. More with Yellow Brooks when we come forward.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Chris Holden, former California Assembly member, former Mayor of Pasadena, and CEO of LA Fire Justice. I've spent my career fighting for our communities. When I saw Edison celebrating $4.5 billion in profits while Eaton fire survivors struggled to make ends meet, it made me simultaneously sick and furious. Families and individuals are dealing with financial pressure, insurance delays, costly remediation, and the painful question of how to rebuild their lives, while the utility that caused the fire is paying its executives millions and is more profitable than ever. That's not justice. That's a disgrace. Join the lawsuit with LA Fire Justice to hold Edison accountable. We're here to help you, your family, and our community recover. Visit lafirejustice.com today to learn more about your eligibility and how to start.
Advertisement. Douglas Boxer, 221 East Walnut Street, Suite 100, Pasadena, California, 91101 is the attorney responsible for this ad.
LA Fire Justice is proud to sponsor Conversation Live. Altadena Forward with James Farr.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy.
Wow, Charles Barkley?
I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for. Open 7 days a week.
Oh, can I use your ATM? My dog Walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Can I try the catchphrase?
Sure. Take it for a spin.
There's no fees and minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Nice, Chuck. I'll take it from here. Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bankguide for details. Capital One, a name member FDIC.
The way I do laundry hasn't really changed until now. Have you seen the new Tide Evo? It may look different, but now I get it. It's a super concentrated laundry detergent towel from Tide, packed with 6 layers of cleaning power. You just toss it in the washer and it dissolves instantly in water. It's built differently to fight tough stains. I love it because Tide Evo comes in a lightweight cardboard box. There's no bulky plastic bottle taking up space. It's perfect for me because I have no space for anything, especially with having twins. It's double the mess and double the load every time. And the biggest perk, it makes getting a Tide clean feel so easy. Try the new Tide Evo super concentrated laundry detergent today.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
My name is Bronwyn, and I
I've been in this neighborhood for 65 years.
All righty.
I was raised here, right on Crenshaw Boulevard. Ancestry, legacy, everything. No parking. In regards to our elderly, in regards to trying to get from one end to the other, 48th and 50th Street is a dead zone. You got to get off the bus and you got to make your way down in the middle of the block. I'm right across the street. I understand one of the things. I am happy to see you guys. I've been in too many meetings where you weren't there. I understand those who own the buildings and your properties. I understand those who rent from you. Here it is. Why can't we invest in each other?
Making sure they follow through. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. 10 Toes In serves as a mentorship and domestic violence prevention program. They support, educate, and empower couples during and after incarceration. They assist male returning citizens to re-enter society successfully and to help them maintain a healthy relationship with their romantic partner. They offer a mentorship support group for formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In teaches its Intimate Relationships 101 curriculum at male prisons throughout the state of California. They host sister support group meetings for women who are intimately involved with incarcerated and formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. To access their services or make a donation, please visit them online at 10toesin.org or find them on Facebook or Instagram. They are healing lives through relationships. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
At the Y, strength means something different. It means people of all ages being together. It means you can be swishing the game-winning shot, learning to plie in first position, jabbing, crossing, and hooking a punching bag, canoeing in the lake at summer camp, donating food for your neighbors, watching your son learn about water safety in the pool. 175 years later, there's still no place like this place. Get involved at your Y. Learn more at ymca.org.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Diallo Brooks's fellowship embedded him with the U.S. Department of Education under the Biden administration, where he served as a senior executive championing community and equity-focused policies. Diallo previously served as vice president of programs and advocacy at the Schott Foundation. He has senior director of field mobilization, acting engagement. He led the Then the Black Vote initiative, successfully engaging millions of black voters in the 2020 elections. Diallo, welcome forward to the show.
Thanks, Jesse.
Diallo, I don't hear Democrats or Republicans necessarily speaking to issues that at this hour impact black men. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not isolating them. I guess I could go through various segments where Democrats speak about black men generally or speak about voting generally, but I'm talking specifically about a segment of our population and our voting constituency that feels like they're under attack. I heard the arguments while I was campaigning in multiple states for Kamala Harris. They said she wasn't black. They said she was Asian. She ain't never done nothing for black men. She ain't even married to one, is what some would even argue, and that's why they weren't voting. But there was just enough black men who did not vote for Kamala Harris for Donald Trump to be president of the United States. So much so, Reverend Al Sharpton, has called a march along with Martin Luther King III. This coming Friday, the March on Washington. Many of us will be there supportive of that effort. Reverend Barber, who is at Yale University teaching social justice, plans to cover multiple states to encourage Black people to vote and the progressive movement to vote between now and the November election, and obviously on Election Day. What about the Black male, Diallo?
Well, there's been a lot of polling recently. There's some polling from Hit Strategies and other places that tried to dig and peel back the onion as it relates to Black men and how Black men participate in our politics, and not just our elections, but our body politics as a whole. And part of it is a lack of investment over a long period of time from the infrastructure, from the mainstream infrastructures that has marginalized Black men. Black men don't feel like anybody is speaking to their issues, that anybody actually cares about them, their livelihood, their health, their well-being, their mental health, their economic mobility, all of those things. And so when you have neglected a community for so long, a particular segment of our community for so long, you're going to have apathy within that community. It's natural, right? We wake up in the morning and think about politics. Excuse me. But, you know, the average person, they're trying to live their life. And when they don't see systems that are designed to support and help them, there's going to be a pullback from some. And so I say it's time to have a deeper investment, but also to listen to Black men. What do Black men care about? What's important to them? Making sure that we elevate their voices.
Diallo, before we get to your word of hope, what are those issues that Black men care about?
Well, it's the economy, jobs. It is our healthcare. It's also the ability to have a voice at the table that we're not taking for granted. It's also about the well-being of Black men in various spaces, the respect for Black men's opinions, and the diversity of those opinions, and the platforms to be able to express those opinions. Sometimes those opinions can stray, but part of it is engaging in a way that is having respectful conversation so we can get to a healthy place as a community.
Diallo, I'm so grateful that you've been on our program. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Diallo Brooks is our very special guest. Diallo, you spend a lot of time in our community. You spend a lot of time around the country inspiring and motivating people. Diallo, give us a word of hope. Take your time.
Well, one of the things for me is while there's disparities, there are pockets of folks really organizing, really thinking strategically. I'll be a part of, I'm a former alum of Black Youth Vote, and they're having a conference as we speak. And so I'll be spending a little bit of time with them over the next couple of days as well. But it is about young people organizing, young people engaging, young people learning. And those of us that are a little bit more seasoned, giving back in those spaces. And I see that happening in pockets all over the country. And so as we have this push from those voices, it's incumbent upon us to help elevate that work, to let people know that there are positive moments that are happening, that there are things that we can invest in. And if we lean into those things, our outcomes will be much better.
I'm looking forward to having you back on our program to talk about your book, Bold, Quiet Warrior. Briefly share with us this book and where we can get it.
Sure. So you can find the book at boldquietwarrior.com. That's the website for the book, and it'll link you to being able to purchase that book. But it's really a story about me, my journey in social justice, all of the things that influenced me, but also it's an encouragement for others to live their own journey, to be their own bold, quiet warrior in this moment, to elevate toward social justice, equity, and creating a safer, healthier community for all of us.
Diallo, I'm so grateful that you joined us on our program.
Thanks for having me. Always appreciate it.
Looking forward to seeing you again on our next program. The next time we have this opportunity, I look forward to talking to you. Listen,
Definitely.
Diallo's an expert on this. He understands the space. And he's also a father. He has hopes and expectations for his children, just like I do, just like every one of us does. And we have to speak to the issues that matter to our anxiety. Difficulty of dropping our children off, regardless of the color of our skin, to a high school or to an elementary school, with the prayers and hopes that our children will come home to us at the end of the day. One less peanut butter and jelly sandwich is just fine with me, but I want my son to come home. And the candidates who answer the question, the safety between home and the return of my son, is likely to get my vote in 2026. And so our issues are sitting right there for people to speak to. No one knows them better than Diallo Brooks. Got an amazing consulting strategies company, to which you can find on his website as well. I'm hoping that anyone who can hear my voice will reach out to Diallo Brooks and do everything you can to take advantage of his expertise. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Tomorrow, thought-provoking Thursdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. More on KBLA Talk 1580 when we come forward.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.